Okay, first of all, I know the history behind the WNBA. I know that both of those cities have had teams before and they got us where we're at, so I'm thankful for that.
WNBA is scrambling to contain the backlash after Sophie Cunningham dropped a statement that's shaking the league at its core. Her bold remarks have stirred outrage, sparked heated debate, and led to a heavy fine clearly aimed at shutting her down. Was this an act of truth-telling, or did she step too far in the league's eyes? Fans are divided, players are whispering, and the tension is spreading quickly. One thing is certain, this has moved far beyond basketball. Here's the full breakdown behind the fine that's dominating conversation. Sophie Cunningham's defiance sets off a storm inside the WNBA. This season, Cunningham has been placed in the middle of a controversy unlike anything the league has dealt with before. 4 separate fines have already been handed down, an unusually strict response for a player still establishing herself. It all began when Sophie, frustrated after a game marred by questionable officiating, posted a blunt TikTok calling the referees useless. That single clip brought an immediate $500 fine, a punishment that stunned many across the league. But instead of backing down, Sophie spoke on a podcast where she not only defended her earlier words but also revealed that many players shared the same frustrations. That honesty resulted in an even steeper $1,500 fine. Her total penalties now sit at $2,000, a clear attempt by the league to send a warning. But the warning didn't silence her. Instead, it set off an uproar that has spread across the basketball community. Social media exploded with hashtags backing Sophie. Fans pointed to the obvious double standard. While Cunningham faced punishment for speaking up, Caitlin Clark, one of the league's biggest names, has avoided fines despite being under constant scrutiny. That contrast fueled even more anger and confusion. Within hours, GoFundMe pages covered Sophie's fines, while petitions demanding transparency in officiating gathered thousands of signatures. The big question rang out everywhere: why punish AS never looked wider? NBA outspoken players like Draymond Green and legends like Charles Barkley have built reputations not only for their skill, but for their blunt honesty. Barkley in particular became a cultural icon by saying whatever was on his mind, challenging the game and its flaws without hesitation. Fans embraced it, and it became part of the sport's DNA. But Sophie Cunningham's situation tells a very different story. After she openly criticized referees for failing to protect players, Caitlin Clark among them, the league's response was chilling. One moment she was venting frustration. The next, she was pulled aside by an official who quietly warned in front of others, "They're going to fine you again." This wasn't just a caution, it was a clear sign that in the WNBA, speaking out carries real consequences. Unlike the NBA's culture of open dialogue, the WNBA's response feels more like a crackdown. Ironically, that attempt to silence Sophie has only made her voice louder and drawn even more attention to the issues she raised. It's the Streisand effect in full swing. Try to bury a story, and it only explodes further. The irony cuts deeper when considering the league's lack of punishment for repeated cheap shots against Caitlin Clark. Many fans are now pointing out a troubling pattern. The league seems quicker to punish players for their words than for dangerous plays on the court. What message does that send about priorities? How can players and fans trust the system when accountability looks uneven? Sophie's words were simple and cutting. "If I were a ref, I'd admit I mess up all the time. The job isn't easy, but when an obvious call right in front of you is missed again and again, what are you doing? What are you doing?" That question doesn't just apply to one player or one game. It strikes at the league's credibility. When fans argue that even the NFL has more consistent officiating, the WNBA's struggles become impossible to ignore. Players, fans, and analysts alike are asking, how long can a league survive if those calling for fairness are punished instead of heard? This isn't only Sophie Cunningham's fight. It's a battle over the league's integrity, and the outcome is still uncertain. So what lies behind the fines and silence? Could Sophie's stand uncover truths the WNBA doesn't want out in the open? The answer may either reshape the league or push it into deeper turmoil. Sophie Cunningham and the officiating storm inside the WNBA. Fans often leave games with the same uneasy feeling, that something wasn't right. That's exactly the frustration Sophie has brought into the spotlight. She admits refereeing is tough, but her real issue is the persistent inconsistency. This isn't about one or two missed whistles. It's a pattern that can't be ignored any longer. Going on here, that pattern is causing chaos everywhere. From how teams scramble to adjust their game plans, to how fans explode like volcanoes of frustration, to how players unleash their pent-up emotions after the final whistle. Sophie's brutally honest comments didn't just pop up out of thin air. They've shown a blinding spotlight on a colossal issue the WNBA has been tiptoeing around for way too damn long. Take the recent shenanigans involving Caitlin Clark, for instance. It's like a masterclass in how star athletes are getting smacked with the most blatant cheap shots, and guess what? The refs? They're just sitting there with their whistles firmly in their pockets. What used to be a rare occurrence is now becoming a damn norm, and the uproar from fans and players is reaching ear-splitting levels. The same maddening questions are echoing everywhere, in the stands, lighting up social media, and bouncing around locker rooms. Why in the world aren't these fouls being called? Why is the league acting like it's blind? From seasoned veterans to eager rookies to fans across the nation, the chant is crystal clear: what the hell is up with the refs? And here's the kicker. Instead of actually fixing this outrageous problem, the league's brilliant response has been to slap fines on players like Sophie for daring to speak out. A $500 fine might seem like pocket change to some, but when it's a punishment for simply voicing frustration, that just throws gasoline on an already raging inferno.